Hey, what's going on YouTube? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Darren, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. On the channel where we talk about both fragrances and fashion, the two F's. So if you love looking good, smelling great, you found the right channel. Go ahead and consider clicking the subscribe button. And if you don't mind, take another quick second to make sure you hit that bell icon as well to ensure you get notified every time I upload new content on this channel. Guys, as you know, even in the summertime when it's warm outside, I enjoy my coffee in the morning. It is the breakfast of champions. Trust me on that one. I always tell you guys just something about fragrances and coffee. I don't know what it is. Even in the summertime, that combination works. So guys, on today's video, I'm going to be talking about, in my estimation, the top 10 designer fragrance releases so far for the year of 2021. So if you guys have been following me for any amount of time, you know probably by now what my motto is when it comes to brand new fragrance releases. I know you have fragrance reviewers out here that as soon as a fragrance comes out, they go to the store and they try to get it as quick as possible so they can be the first one to review it. That's not my style. I mean, most of these fragrances, especially brand new fragrance releases, I buy with my hard-earned money. So blind buys on some of this stuff, again, if I read the note breakdown and I'm not almost 95% sure I'm going to like it, then I tend to hold off until I can get it in hand, get a sample or smell it in the store before I invest my hard-earned money into a new release. So with that being said, there are some new releases that have come out this year, and there's some fragrances that I'll probably get at some point, but when I first smelled these fragrances initially, they didn't captivate me enough or compel me to want to make a full bottle purchase. But of the ones that I have had a chance to smell, these are going to be the top 10 releases, in my humble opinion, of designer fragrances for this year so far. So if you want to see what made the list, then you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. All right, guys, we are back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump right into this video. Now, in the number 10 spot, I actually don't have the full bottle yet. I am getting a bottle of this, but I do have a sample of this one. I actually picked up a sample of this fragrance from Nordstrom's when I purchased another fragrance on this list. So the first fragrance that I want to talk about that comes in the 10th spot for me is the fragrance H24 from Hermes. Now, this is the sample that I have right here. I want to spray it just to kind of give you guys my quick commentary on it, but it is a good one. Again, it wasn't a love when I first smelled it. It was pretty good, but I didn't feel compelled to buy it at the time. I have had a chance to really kind of wear this sample, and I came to the determination after wearing it a few times that I do like it enough to make a full bottle purchase. But it just comes in at the 10th spot because it was really nothing special about it, although it is pretty good. But it's a really, really nice green fragrance. It's kind of aromatic, really, really nice and warm. You got some narcissus in here. You have some clary sage. Slightly kind of a metallic vibe I get from this as well. But it's a nice overall warm kind of green fragrance. It's one that I really, again, have started to enjoy the more I've worn from the sample. So I will be getting a bottle of that, so it comes in at the 10th spot. Again, this fragrance is called H24 from the house of Hermes. All right, guys, now coming in at the 9th spot on this list, this is a relatively new release from the house of Giorgio Armani, and this is Acqu Di Gio Profondo Light. Acqu Di Gio Profondo Light. And there are hints of the previous flanker Acqu Di Gio Profondo in this fragrance, but this one has more of a kind of green undertone to it. I'm not really taking the time on this particular video to go through notes and things of that nature, but this is definitely a solid release from Giorgio Armani. Again, there are hints of the previous flanker, which was Acqu Di Gio Profondo. I think I'm going to do a video and kind of compare this and Profondo side by side, but I do like this one. I smelled it up against several other fragrances in the store at the time of purchase, and this one at that particular day won out for me because it's good. It's not great, but it is good. That's why it makes the 9th spot on this list. Again, it's Acqu Di Gio Profondo Light. All right, guys, now coming in at the number 8 spot on this list today, this one comes from the house of Cartier, and this is called Luxuriance. This is called Luxuriance, and this is from a new collection that they have called the Rivieras collection. And I talked about this fragrance, man. This is a fantastic scent. If this performed better, this would have probably been in my top 4. Because just based on scent DNA alone, this stuff is absolutely amazing, man. You really get a nice, fresh, crisp green opening in this fragrance. But what I love about it is a great contrast. It comes from notes that I found to love in Tom Ford Noir Extreme, which is pistachio, and they have mastic in this as well. So there's a slight hint of kind of this nutty gourmand vibe that goes along with the nice green elements in this fragrance. It's a beauty of a scent. Again, the performance is not that great, or else it would have been higher on this list, but this is one of the best scent DNAs on the entire list. So check this one out if you have a chance. I think these retail for 113 bucks. This one is called Luxuriance. All right, guys, coming in at the 8th spot on this list, this fragrance is called Spice Bomb Infrared. Spice Bomb Infrared, and I did I think it's kind of like a first impressions on this channel with this fragrance, and this one smells very close to the original Spice Bomb, but it has an amped up cinnamon accord in this fragrance. I akin it to the smell of big red gum. That's what this really reminds me of, but I really enjoy this one. One thing I will say that I don't like about this particular bottle, my bottle, for some reason, and I've never dropped it or anything like that, but now the sprayer is kind of damaged on it. I think that may be some kind of quality control issue with this particular scent. A lot of some of the first batches of this particular fragrance, I think, had that issue. But other than that, scent DNA alone, I really like this one. Again, imagine the original Spice Bomb with an amped up cinnamon accord in it, and you get this right here. It's a lot warmer than the original. So this one comes in at the 7th spot from the house of Victor & Rolf. This is Spice Bomb Infrared. All right, guys, now coming in at the 6th spot on this list, this is one of the newer releases on this list, and this one is called Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. Now, I do have a full review of this fragrance coming up very soon on the channel, but I will tell you, I really enjoy this scent. I've talked a lot before on the channel about having issues with the note of grapefruit. It tend to go a little sour oftentimes on my skin, but this is the best use of grapefruit that I've experienced in my fragrance journey. I love this fragrance. Now, I will tell you, you have to be a lover of grapefruit because it is heavy on the grapefruit. And the opening is just a blast of grapefruit. I'm going to get into more details about it on the full review, but I will say this: I really enjoy this fragrance. Probably my favorite flanker from the whole light blue collection. But check it out. It comes in at the 6th spot. This is called Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Forever. All right, guys, coming in at the 5th spot on this list, the newest release from the Azzaro Wanted collection. This is Azzaro's Most Wanted. I would tell you this is probably going to be a staple for most people when it starts to get cool outside, fall and winter. Man, this stuff is really good. It features notes of cardamom and toffee. So you get that nice, warm sweetness, very seductive and sexy fragrance right here. That's why it's called Most Wanted. I'm figuring when you wear it in the fall and winter, you're going to be the most wanted person when people smell you wearing this. But a nice, sexy scent. Of course, I love fragrances that have gourmand touches, and that's definitely this right here. So check this one out, man, from the house of Azzaro. This is Azzaro's Most Wanted. All right, now coming in at the 4th spot on this list, this is the latest release from the YSL Y line. This is Y Le Parfum. Y Le Parfum. And again, I've talked about this fragrance before. I did a full review on it, and it is very similar to the original YSL Y. Of course, this was a lot heavier, a lot richer. Has a little bit more character to it than the original fragrance. This one can be worn year round. More of a signature scent, but I really enjoy this one. Again, and won't go into much detail about it because I did a full review on it. If you want to see it, I will link it down in the description. But it is a good one, and that's why it comes in at the 4th spot from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. This is Y Le Parfum. All right, guys, now coming in at the third spot on this list, I talked about this fragrance recently. This one is called Trouble Fête from the house of Givenchy or Givenchy. And this is a fig-based fragrance. So if you like the note of fig, if you like fragrances like Fico di Amalfi from Acqu Di Parma, then you will probably love this fragrance. It's very, very, very much one of those sexy fragrances that'll get a lot of compliments. It's unisex, so I know the ladies can see themselves wearing this. They can wear it, but man, this thing smells really, really good when it touches your skin. Now, this fragrance is a little bit more expensive because Givenchy did like this kind of exclusive collection. Again, as I said before, kind of similar to what you see from Tom Ford, the private collection, Chanel, Dior. You know, they have their private YSL, their private collections. This is kind of like a new private collection from Givenchy, but man, this stuff is really, really, really freaking fantastic. So check it out from the house of Givenchy. This is called Trouble Fête. All right, guys, coming in at the number 2 spot on this list. This fragrance comes from the Dolce & Gabbana house, and this one is called Dolce & Gabbana Luminous Nights. The bottle is absolutely gorgeous on this fragrance, and the fragrance is gorgeous on the inside of this bottle. Man, this is such a unique fragrance. The main notes in this to my nose are, of course, you got this kind of dates accord, which kind of gives it this almost the same vibe that you kind of get from when almond is used in fragrances. That's what I kind of get from the dates. Maybe a little bit more drier than almond normally in fragrances. You get some sandalwood, some incense, and some basil, a little spiciness from basil in this fragrance. But man, this is such a unique fragrance, and that's why I came in at the number 2 spot. It smells great, but it's such a unique fragrance DNA. I've never smelled anything like this. Now, I understand that this fragrance is not, to my knowledge, still not readily accessible in the United States. So hopefully when it gets here and more people can get access to this fragrance, you guys will have a chance to really see what I'm talking about. But this is an amazing scent. That's why it comes in at the number 2 spot. From the house of Dolce & Gabbana, this is Dolce & Gabbana The One, Luminous Nights. All right, guys, now coming in at the number 1 spot for me, this fragrance comes from the house of Jacques Fath, and this is called Tempête d'Automne. Tempête d'Automne, and this is the kind of fragrance that your boy loves right here. Man, this stuff is so good. Of course, that's why it's in the number 1 spot. This house, Jacques Fath, to my knowledge, one of the last fragrances they released before this new collection of fragrances was back in '98. The classic fragrance Jacques Fath for Homme. And the fragrance house is seeing a resurgence as of late with the releases of a lot of new fragrances. My wife and I covered the house last week. But man, this is one of the best fragrances. This is the best fragrance I've smelled from that entire collection, and the best designer fragrance release of the year of 2021 so far. I'll just run off some of the notes that I can remember off the top of my head. There's cinnamon, that stood out to me, sandalwood, tonka bean, and there's like this milk accord that gives it extra creaminess. So you have creaminess from sandalwood, the milk accord in here, you have the spicy, warm cinnamon, and this with nice sweetness from tonka bean. Man, this stuff is just good. This is just good. That's why it's number 1. You guys know my swag and my taste. I love gourmands, and this is an amazing scent. So if you have a chance to check it out, I know they do like 2 ml samples of their fragrances, but check this one out, man, from the house of Jacques Fath. This is called Tempête d'Automne. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed this video as I gave you guys the top 10 designer releases of 2021 so far. As always, I appreciate your time and attention to these videos because, of course, man, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you took a few moments to watch this video. I don't take that for granted. I sincerely appreciate it. Now, don't forget to take a few moments, if you don't mind, to like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure that you take a few moments as well to share these videos out to folks that you think could use this information or may find it entertaining. Whatever it is, it works for me because I'm your guy, the bow tie fragrance guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good. Keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.